Are you ready to dive into the ocean of success? Look no further than Shark Tank's top 10 most successful products, where innovation and quality meet to make a splash in the market. So let's dive into our list. Number 10. Deboned baby back rib steak. The owner, Bubba Baker, used to play in the NFL. After retiring from the league, he ventured into the world of business and founded his brand of barbecue sauces and dry rubs. Eventually, he decided to focus on ribs and named his new product Bubba-Q's Boneless Ribs. He was making a decent amount of money, raking in $154,000 in yearly revenue, before he went on the show Where People Make a Deal with Rich Folks in Suits. When he appeared on Shark Tank, his sales skyrocketed to a whopping $16 million. One of the sharks who believed in Bubba's ribs was Damon John. He decided to invest $300,000 in exchange for a 30% stake in the company and licensing rights. This turned out to be John's most successful investment, and he attributed it to the delicious flavor of Bubba's sauce. With John's help, Bubba was able to improve his processing skills and establish better commercial relationships. Soon, the sauce was being offered in Carl's Jr. and Hardee's restaurants. Oh, and get this, the parent company of Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, CKE Restaurants, placed an order for 1 million pounds of Bubba's ribs to be distributed to their 3,000 franchised stores. Talk about success! Number 9. Groovebook. It was founded by a husband and wife duo named Brian and Julie Whiteman. They pitched their product on the show and ended up striking a deal with Cuban and Kevin O'Leary. Groovebook is a membership service for digital photography that prints a real photo using your phone's gallery. You can get a monthly photo book loaded with all your photos for only $3.99. The Sharks were impressed and made an investment of $150,000 in exchange for an 80% share of licensing proceeds. After their episode aired, Groovebook gained over 50,000 members and continued to succeed until 2014 when Shutterfly acquired the company for $14.5 million. Number 8. 1031 Productions. In 2009, Melissa Carbone laid the groundwork for the production firm centered around the horror genre, designing and putting on their live horror shows and productions. They began operating the Los Angeles Haunted Hayride, which brought in income of $400,000 in its first year of operation. They made an appearance on Shark Tank in 2013 and received an investment that was at the time the most significant one in the show's history. They were successful in landing shark Mark Cuban, who invested $2 million in exchange for 20% ownership of the firm. Since then, the production firm has established itself as the undisputed industry pioneer in horror-themed entertainment. Number 7. Wicked Good Cupcakes. In 2010, Tracy Noonan and Danielle Villagey attended their first cake decorating class, and in 2011, they turned their hobby into a business. They started selling cupcakes in mason jars to keep them fresh and came up with the concept of cupcakes in a jar. They made an appearance on Shark Tank in 2013, and it was then that they made a deal with Kevin O'Leary. He made an investment of $75,000 in exchange for royalties rather than equity in the company. He was paid $1 for each cupcake they sold, up to the point when he had recouped his original investment. After that, he will get 50 cents for each and every cupcake sold. Kind of a cruel deal, but it has become one of the best of O'Leary's investments on the program. Since then, Wicked Good Cupcakes has increased their annual revenue to more than $5 million, and they have also increased the number of stores and the size of their manufacturing plant. They now offer pies in a jar, gluten-free alternatives, cakes, and themed packs in addition to the cupcakes they previously sold. Number 6. Grace and Lace. Sienna's Closet was the original name of Grace and Lace when it was first established on Etsy in 2011. Leg warmers and boot socks with embellishments were the first products that the owner, Melissa Hinnant, offered for sale. After their achievements on Etsy, they were featured on the television show Shark Tank in 2013, and it became Barbara Corcoran's most profitable investment on the program, after she put in $175,000 for a 10% stake in the firm in exchange for stock options. What began as a business selling leg warmers and socks has now grown into a full-fledged women's clothing enterprise. In addition to the leggings and socks that have been the company's trademark, Grace and Lace also produces and retails a whole range of clothes for women. Since appearing on Shark Tank, the firm has generated sales of over $20 million. Thus, it is not surprising that Barbara considers this to be her most successful venture. Number 5. Tipsy Elves. Tipsy Elves started as a Christmas sweater business, producing contentious and attention-grabbing sweaters during the holiday season. Today, they design what they call the most ridiculous outfits ever seen by humankind. When they first opened their doors, they have claimed sales of more than $40 million. The founders, Evan Mendelsohn and Nick Morton, said during the show that in the beginning, the only thing that they offered for sale were Christmas sweaters, but over time, they increased their inventory to include other sorts of clothing as well, like t-shirts, underwear, leggings, and swimwear. They also offer snowboards, skis, and all the equipment that goes along with these sports. Shark Robert Herjavec was the one who ended up eating the fish. He invested $100,000 in return for a 10% stake in the business. Since then, Herjavec has said that he considers this to be his most successful investment. He was the one who advised Mendelsohn and Morton to transform the business into an apparel retailer that was open throughout the year so that they could make money off of other holidays and celebrations. Number 4. Bala Bangles. During the 11th season of Shark Tank, immediately before the pandemic in 2020 broke out, Natalie Holloway and Max Kislovitz pitched Bala Bangles to the investors. Every single one of the sharks debated the one-of-a-kind and modern training weight product and competed to become partners in the firm. The founders of Bala agreed to partner up with Mark Cuban and Maria Sharapova for $900,000 investment in exchange for a 30% ownership stake in the firm. As the lockdown was in effect, most of us had no choice but to exercise at home, and after seeing Bala Bangles on the show, many people bought up the stock, and it contributed heavily to the brand's sustained success, even though the pandemic was in full swing. According to Forbes, the firm took off once they removed Bangles from their name and then started marketing their brand to include various types of aesthetically pleasing exercise equipment. As a result, the company was able to completely sell out during the pandemic. Number 3. Scrub Daddy. Investor Lori Greiner saw huge potential in Scrub Daddy, which may be the most successful product to come out of the Shark Tank to date. Because Scrub Daddy has generated more than $100 million in sales. The sponge is fashioned in the form of a smiley face, like a smiling emoji. When placed in cold water, the sponge will harden, but when placed in hot water, it will become more pliable. It is a multi-purpose sponge that can be used for up to 2 months without losing its form or getting too filthy to use. Also, the ergonomic design makes it easy to use. So in Season 4, Aaron Krause, the CEO of the business, and Lori Greiner reached an agreement in exchange for her $200,000 contribution to Krause's business. Krause was successful in getting the sponge into shops and on television thanks to the assistance of the shark, where it became a well-known brand very fast. Number 2. Bombas. Socks may not seem to be the most original product at first sight. Yet the inventors David Heath and Randy Goldberg were able to impress Damon John in Season 6 with their innovative approach to the sale of socks. After realizing that this is the item that is most desired in homeless shelters, the two were motivated to design the most comfortable socks that they possibly could. Damon John was intrigued by the company's business plan, which involved donating one pair of socks for every pair sold. So John made an offer for $200,000 for a 17% share in Bombas, which the owners accepted, and since then the business has generated a total of $225 million in lifetime sales. Number 1. Squatty Potty. Bobby Edwards, the inventor of Squatty Potty, appeared on Shark Tank in Season 6. He was pitching a simple product, a footstool that would raise your feet while you sit on the toilet, which can help with bowel movements. Although it may sound like an odd idea, the concept is based on the natural squatting position that many cultures have been using for centuries. The product was designed to improve colon health, as squatting is a more natural and comfortable position to take a dump. Despite the somewhat unusual nature of the product, it proved to be a big hit with the sharks. Lori Greiner in particular was interested in investing, and she ended up offering $350,000 in exchange for a 10% stake in the company. The other sharks dropped out, and Bobby Edwards agreed to Lori's terms. After the show, Squatty Potty sales skyrocketed, with $1 million in sales in the first 24 hours after the episode aired. By the end of 2015, the company had sold over $30 million worth of Squatty Potties. Today, Squatty Potty is still a popular product, and the company has expanded its product line to include other bathroom accessories. And that's it. Thank you for watching Shark Tank's Top 10 Most Successful Products with us. We hope you've enjoyed this journey through the sea of success with the sharks, and we look forward to continuing to bring you innovative and good videos in the future.